allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a roll call of members.
Dr. Malloy.
Here.
Mr. Mignon.
Here.
Mr. Hoff.
Here.
Mr. Greenwood.
Here.
Mrs. Irwin Adams.
Here.
Mr. Johnston.
Here.
Mr. Francis. Mrs. McGinnis. Mr. Cook.
I'd like to announce prior to this meeting, we had an executive session to discuss real estate issues. Okay, at this time, we have a presentation from Mr. A.C. Stickles, Chairman of the America 250 PA Blair County Commission.
Thank you. That's a long title. It's easier than trying to spell semi-quincentennial. Dr. Malloy, Mr. Hatch, members, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Hatch, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Very excited about the America 250 PA Blair County Commission, which is preparing to celebrate America's 250th birthday in 2026. Seems like a long way off, but we've already done a lot of things. I am joined tonight by Jim Lowe, who I think most of you know, or you should, who's part of our commission. We're very excited. The celebration is epic. Educate, preserve, innovate, and celebrate. We recently purchased a mascot uniform, so we will be looking for students to help volunteer to fill that. I'm not wearing it, but we'll be having a naming contest soon. That's just sort of to promote what we're doing. There'll be a lot of things at Fort Roberdeau. We have been out there the last 2 years on Independence Day reading the Declaration of Independence, something that a lot of people had never really heard or hadn't since school. So we're reminding people of that. We'll be doing a lot of things with arts, with history, with education. We'll be focusing probably on 4th or 5th grade students with an essay contest that we hope to be launching soon. We'll be working with high school students and hopefully getting them as volunteers for the mascot and to go to events and help educate people. We do want to come into the classrooms. We're working very closely with the Pennsylvania Commission, which has a Keystone Classroom project at a lot of schools, and the deadline has passed for this year, but next year I'm sure they'll be doing it again. And we'll want to work very closely with teachers in that program. So what we're asking tonight is, I believe before you is a resolution that would be your endorsement of the celebration. Allows you to appoint somebody, if you like, to our commission. We don't meet that often right now. We're trying to work more in committees to get things done. We're working on writing a book on Blair County Revolutionary War history in Blair County. I'm working on some activities. There's, I forget what it's called, Moving America or Let's Move. There's the Let's Move Blair County, but it's a similar thing. And it talked about walking so many miles or biking so many miles. And I was really excited until I found out they meant bicycle instead of motorcycle. So we'll be adding a motorcycle event as well for the next couple of years. So we'll be leading up to a lot of things. I'm just very excited and appreciate your support of the resolution and of the commission and any appointment you'd like to make. We're very excited to work with the school system. I don't know how many of you, probably more than you want to admit, remember the bicentennial. I remember it well, and I remember things we did in school and coloring books and events and parades and so on. So we hope to rebuild that type of enthusiasm over the next 4 years till we get there for the celebration. So be glad to answer any questions.
No, you don't. Is it too late if we had the resolution on for approval in September? The resolution did not get on. I don't know why that did not get on.
It's not too late.
We're okay. We'll have that approved. It's not on the public.
I can tell you that we did go to Tyrone Borough and Tyrone School District first because Fort Roberdeau resides in that district. And then we came here next, but it was because of our commission. They were initially just soliciting for municipalities. I said, well, what about school districts if you want to get people involved? So because of our insistence, they developed a school district resolution. So you'll be one of the first in the state to do this. So yes, September is absolutely fine.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we will hear from citizens. Anybody wish to address the board, please come to the microphone, state your name, and if you live in the school district. See nobody, we'll move then to the item number 4, which would be the approval of our regular board meeting minutes on August 1st, 2023. Do we have a motion? Is there a second? Any comments? Not those in approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 5, finance. We have A, the list of payments. B, the foster grandparent memorandum of understanding. C, LPN RN contracted services. Do we have a motion for approval of those items? Is there a second? Discussion. Those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, under 6, we have policy. And we have the final reading of a number of policies that are listed. Do we have a motion for approval? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion? Hearing none, those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 7, education. We have A, Andrew Klein Special Ed Education Agreements. B, we have a CNS contract for speech language pathology services. C, we have the Savas Learning Agreement for the social studies grades kindergarten through grade 5. D, volunteer approval. E, conference travel. F, an honorary diploma. And G, secondary code of conduct for secondary education. Do we have a motion on those items?
I'd like to table C.
Okay, so
So
we would need a.
I can make a motion to
to
approve
table.
the other ones that as if we can
Table
table
C.
letter C.
Okay, and would we have a second for the other items and then to table item C? We have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
I can just say why I wanted to table it because we're looking at adopting a new curriculum and I wanted an opportunity to explore the curriculum before we voted on it.
And I would just make the comment that under F, the honorary diploma, I know we implemented starting giving diplomas to people who had served in our armed services and had to remove themselves from school at an early age. Some they were going into their senior year, and this is an opportunity to recognize people who gave so much to our country. So I know Mr. Peck, I've met him, and he's certainly deserving of this. Okay, any other comment on any of the items? Okay, those in favor of approving all but item C, which would be tabled to another meeting, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 8, personnel. We have personnel agenda items under A. Is there any item under that? Do we have a motion on that item? So move. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
I just have one question. How's it determined if the year and the step gets carried over from previous employment?
It's in most cases it's individualized. So if we look at the need of the position, number of qualified candidates, and if there was a certified candidate, that is consideration when we look at that. So I think the example, we had a guidance counselor where we only had one certified candidate. That candidate came with a number of years of experience, plus her previous experience was partially at Altoona. So we would be honoring those years regardless. We're
Is it-
required to do so.
Now, how about with teachers? Is that
Same thing. It would depend on, so for example, high need area like a chemistry, biology or whatnot. If they have years of service or are coming with multiple certificates, there is consideration given to honoring their years of service and or step, depending on which. Typically what we've done is we've looked at their salary and we've not honored necessarily years of service and or step from a previous district because those can be random because it doesn't match the salary schedule of the Altoona School District. So we would look at their ending salary and what that would be in correlation to our step schedule.
and it doesn't cause conflicts between teachers if one gets hired a year before and then one gets hired the next year and they get to keep their years and steps and the other one doesn't?
It depends. It's usually not apples and oranges in terms of comparison. When you're looking at hiring, we have to look at need base and the number of qualified candidates in the moment. And if typically we try to start everyone at their first year salary, but in instances where there is a certification demand or hiring demand on that area, we do consider years of service and we do consider that when making offers to employees.
Okay.
Yes.
Is the business office exploring this too, to align it with our budget?
So in most cases, the person that we are replacing is either retiring or resigning at a higher level than we're bringing any of the hired employees in at. So again, in most cases, you're getting a discount on the person that you're hiring as opposed to the person that they are replacing. We're always looking at that financial piece in terms of when we're retiring employees that we're going to have experience the savings with a new hire, because you're typically hiring a newbie out of school at a much lower rate at a starting rate. But when you are getting someone who is experienced, whether it be multiple years of experience or only a few, it is part of a negotiation to get that employee to commit to coming to your school district.
I mean, I know there's a need, but my concern is that we're gonna have other people fleeing and then wanting to come back because they want a higher salary. So I guess that's my concern long-term,
Mhm.
like how we're looking at this and how we're picking and choosing which people we're bringing in at a higher salary.
It really is a need-based conversation when we look at who's coming in and what we're paying them at. There are times when we are paying for years of service and experience because of the quality of the candidate that you're getting.
Is there a committee like looking at it and discussing it, or how?
It is
I guess-
typically the interview committee, which is comprised of a representative from HR, which is typically Mr. Cack, the administrator of the building where that employee is being hired at, the assistant superintendent in charge of that level, and myself.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 9, business operations. We have A, the transfer of funds, B, the repository bids, C, the capital reserve list of payments, D, tax abatement, E, capital projects list of payments, F, the winter sports bid with a number of items listed, G, the GACTC memorandum of understanding, H, the applied information connectivity contract. Do we have a motion on those items? So moved. Is there a second? On second, discussion. Okay, those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 10, new business. We have the use of our junior high school facilities. B, an arbiter agreement for mid-pen conferencing scheduling. C, the Penguin Project with the Altoona Community Theater. Do we have a motion on those items? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. Okay, those in favor respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Committee reports. Any committee reports?
Just had one question follow up from the last meeting. The bubblers in the classrooms for like the kindergarten, first grade, where did we leave that?
So we are getting an estimate on reconnecting those. When we did our research, a number of the bubblers during the time that we had COVID, those bubblers, the lines were cut. So they would need to be reconnected. So we have Doug and his team getting us an estimate to bring to the board as to what it's going to cost to reconnect all those items. We did verify that where those bubblers are no longer in function in our primarily some of our younger classrooms, there is a sink in all of those classrooms where pulls from the same water source. So the water that would have come from the bubbler, they can use by turning on the faucet and filling up a cup for water. We've also allowed and encouraged all of our elementary students to bring in a refillable water bottle that they could utilize as well, that they could fill either at that sink or at the water fountain during, you know, a classroom break or a restroom break, whatever it may be. And if a kid needs a water bottle, we'll provide it for them.
Okay.
Yep. But we want to bring up a cost to the board as to what that's going to cost to be able to turn those on or basically reconnect those. Haley, am I accurate?
Yes, and we provided for any teacher that needs small cups for children that would need to get out of the sink so that they have it directly in their classroom at this time if the child doesn't bring in a water bottle or something to be able to use that water within the classroom.
Okay, thanks.
Any other comments?
Only thing from Central Blair Rec, back in June, so it's been a couple months, but they opened the Grove Memorial Bank Shop Basketball Park down near the maintenance building across from there. And then this week they have a ribbon cutting for the new Witherspoon courts up at by the Booker T. Washington. So there's a ribbon cutting on Thursday afternoon, I think at 4:30, and then they're having a block party from 5 to 7. So just a couple things from Central Blair Rec.
Okay. Board President's report, I have none. Superintendent's report.
Just very briefly, because I know I was told I talked too much. Had our new teacher induction program last week. We've welcomed over 60 new instructional teachers to the school district. Had a wonderful 3 days of training and professional learning. Want to thank Mrs. Flegel and her team for putting that together. A lot of staff turnover, whether it be through retirements or other reasons. Very excited about the fact that we're starting the school year with pretty much a full staff. For the first time in many, many years. And I'm very impressed with the professionalism and what our new teachers have brought to us. We had our opening meeting today with faculty and staff. They had their building level faculty meetings at their buildings. They had their instructional time in their classrooms. And then we had our full district meeting this afternoon. And I felt like we got off to a very good start, a positive start for the 23-24 school year. And we are very much looking forward to what this year brings. So thank you.
Frank has you on the watch.
I had you on the watch. I mean, when you hear that beep, it's time to stop.
I just wanted to add an echo to that. You know, I think a lot of people wonder, or not, maybe not wonder, but, you know, the summer off for educators, teachers, and things like that. But being able to be in some of the buildings today and then attending the opening meeting, I think it's very apparent what our teachers, our administrators, and our faculty, you know, are doing all summer long. And that is preparing to start the school year off on a good foot. I think anybody that starts into a project knows kind of the kickoff is really kind of sets the tone for the school year. And it was apparent how much work was done, whether at home or in their buildings this summer by our teachers, our administration, our new administration. And it was very apparent, I think, with a very successful kickoff to the school year this year. So I just wanted to commend our teachers and our administration on their hard work this summer. I think it was very apparent in the meeting and being in some of the buildings for Meet the Teacher tonight and the opening meeting. So thank you for that. And thank you for all your hard work. I think it will be a successful school year because of that. So I commend everybody for that.
Okay, we have our new student representative, Julia Klein. Julia.
So hello, everyone. I'd first like to introduce myself. My name is Julia Klein. I'm the 2023-2024 senior class president. I'm involved in volleyball, marching, jazz band, mock trial, ambassadors, among other clubs and activities. As student body representative, I hope I can tell you all about the AHS student body throughout the school year. So let's begin with some upcoming events. First, tonight we had Meet the Teacher Night, and all parents were invited and encouraged to meet their child's teachers and watch their schedule. And I myself was over there for a little bit, and it seemed to be very fluid and a great success. Additionally, we have August 24th, 2023, the first day of the school year. AASD will welcome incoming students in grades 1 through 12. However, kindergarten will begin with a staggered start. Half of the students will attend on Friday, August 25th, and the second half of students will attend on Monday, August 28th. Additionally, we have girls tennis for Central High on the same date, August 24th, 2023. Now, an important event is the first AHS football game versus Hollidaysburg. A pep rally will be held for this day, and students will engage in school spirit and prepare for the game to follow. And as we previously mentioned, Korean War veteran Lloyd Peck will be honored at this pep rally and will receive an honorary diploma for his dedication to both Altoona High and his country. For those interested in any of these AHS sports events, season tickets are on sale in the athletic office. It's $50 for adults and $20 for students. Season tickets are good for all regular season games. Plus, our first home football game is September 1st against Alderdice. For those who would like to watch from home, MLTV will be live streaming all home games on the MLTV Live YouTube channel, and all games will also be aired on Jack FM. Congratulations are in order for the boys golf team who won their opening match against Hollidaysburg. And this Saturday, August 25th, boys tennis will travel to Indiana for their first tournament of the season. Girls soccer will also verse Cumberland Valley. Overall, ASD is hoping for a great 2023 to 2024 school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good report. Okay, for information only, we have the new teacher induction program completion for 22-23. We have B, the facilities committee meeting summaries for May 11th and May 25th. Okay, other comments? Do we have an employee union response? None. Middle management. Solicitor.
None this evening other than best wishes for a good start to the school year.
Okay, those are all the items on the agenda. Could we have a motion for adjournment?
Oh, Mr. President, I'd just like to say one quick thing. Prospect Pool had a free swim for the community. The other Saturday, they had free hot dogs, drinks for the kid. I'd really like to thank the Blair Labor Council for handing out school supplies, backpacks, notepads, pencils. It was very nice down there. Thanks again for the Kiwanis, the Rotary, local businesses. Thank you very much. Very appreciated.
Okay, great. Okay, any other comments? Do we have a motion for adjournment? So moves or second?
Second.
Anybody opposed? Unanimous. We're adjourned.